So we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, they had fought back and defeated the strange, corrupted, angel-like creatures. And after doing some investigation into the similar but made of wood instead of stone portal that was in the basement of the log house, um, Volu found an amulet that, upon touching it, it seemed to resonate with him, and he was able to see a sort of map, having some visions of a halfling leaving for a journey. They look similar, but not quite the same as Volu. And after using this map to try and at first reach their home, but then finding a seal and thinking that maybe that was protective instead of restrictive, deciding instead to head to a nearby safe point and coming upon a strange protected tower that, upon entering the amulet into a slot, opened the door and opening up the space to the group, and in front of you, almost Volu, as it sort of clicks and the door sort of swings away, there's almost a soft pulse from the amulet as it still comes away in your hand. So like it's not like set in, it's almost like you just pressed it in and you're still holding the amulet, if that makes sense. There's my notes. Don't crash. As you can, so as you sort of look in, you can see the initial spaces. It almost seem to be Jesus Christ, my brain. You can see straight away a layer of dust sort of disperses as the door swings open. That gives the impression initially that nobody's been in here in a long time. You look around and you see sort of dusty wood carved furniture, all out of that dark ironwood. A crystalline lantern sort of sits in the side and seems to, or have, you can, not that you can like, it's hard to understand exactly why. It's the timing of it almost, but you can almost tell that that lantern came on when the door opened, as opposed, you don't think that's been on the whole time, but there's almost like it was a moment of darkness before a light brightened up the space. And you can see a cracked mirror in the corner. You can see a set of stairs sort of heading upwards in the far left corner, and on the right hand side there is a slightly open door, but it is still, it's not like the whole space is lit up. You think it's almost reactive to moving through the space. What would you like to do?
Go in and sit down.
Dante's just walking straight in.
Is that generally what you're doing? Yeah.
I think so.
I'm going to try and keep close to the wall and watch for anything happening when Dante goes to sit down.
Okay.
But I will be inside, but I'll be like basically in.
Each is coming with Dante.
In at wall.
Yeah, I'm sort of stood at the door, just outside the door, Liam, and I'm watching Dante just strolling in, and I'm watching Volley being very careful, and I want to just see if anything happens before I step foot in. And I'm also keeping an eye out outside in case there's anything out here.
Each is coming in with we're going to go in together.
Yeah, so you can use his protection thing. We all know what you're doing.
It's not even that. I don't think his protection thing would work in this. But I'm thinking if there's something that would jump out, Ichi and Dante back to back, that is double team gold. So
I'd say Dante, as you sort of step in, there's an almost the natural dispersion of dust as you do almost disturb the layers for the first time. And your passive investigation, like as you get the first steps in, there is no footprints in here. Like, you don't think anybody else has been, like, at least in this room, right? Nobody else has been sneaking through. As your foot hits like 5 foot in, what was genuinely either incredibly well hidden or actually invisible, a magical glyph just opens up underneath both you and Ichi.
Wonderful.
There is a pause, and can you make me an instinct? So from you an instinct, from Ichi a presence.
That's so unfair.
How big
And
is this
what I'll
portal?
say for it's not portal, glyph on the floor, like a magical sigil. So like,
Oh, I thought you said like another hole had appeared. I'm like, not again.
no. Can Volu and Eleni from outside give me instinct rolls to see what you can spot as this is going
it's
on?
still 2d12s, right? Just reminding me.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I'll pick up my fear die, and I am currently on 8
Oh.
fear.
Well,
I'd forgotten to do
you're
that.
now getting 9 fear, and that was 8 with fear for Dante.
Mhm.
And
So I am on 9 fear now.
I just realised I need to put the fear on the recording.
Don't worry.
and 8 with fear for
Oh.
EG as well, but 2 double failed with fears.
Oh wait, if it's reaction, it's not with fear and stuff, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's not.
So is this a reaction rather than a?
It is a reaction because I'm forcing the roll.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay.
Well, thanks a lot. Just 2 fails.
So I am
So-
on 8
okay.
fear.
So that's a 14 from me.
That's a 7 from me.
Okay, so Volu, you're almost more watching out for physical traps or like things jumping out, and you're just as surprised by the sudden glow of blue light on the floor.
Okay.
For Eleni, you think it was almost like 2 things, as there's almost like an initial glyph and a wave passes over both of them, and then a secondary glyph, almost at the same time, and it passes over them again. So it was, an 8 from Dante.
And an 8 from EG.
Okay. So Dante, all of a sudden, you are like paralyzed. And then you're still stood in the room, but it feels like water's just, and you're just underwater, like struggling for air. Ichi, as he takes the step in, all of a sudden there's like a shift, and he also freezes, but almost it looks like he's like when somebody has a blink and is sort of flicking in and out of ethereal and not. But it almost looks like to you guys the sort of times when you banish people back to their own.
Oh, okay.
But right now he's holding, but he's like.
I would sort of say, I'd say to Volu, stay still. There were 2 things then. I don't know if that was 2 different spells or 2 different effects, but there was 2 things happened.
Can either of us talk, or are we as paralyzed?
So for Ichi can, and Ichi wills be able to talk. For Dante, I imagine as best as you can as now underwater. As even though it's not filled, you feel like you're under the ocean.
Oh, great, cool.
And are holding breath in the same fashion.
Oh, cool. What does EG feel like? Because you're saying he's blinking, but what does it feel like to him?
I'd say for Ichi, it feels like he's being banished. And what I'd say that as he looks down, the thing that sort of the mushrooms are all rooting him to the floor. So it's almost like he was saying previously, he's here a little bit on the force of his own paladin abilities, but also through the use of your energies.
Do we? I mean, looking at this, I would say it looks like Dante's been affected differently. Do you think it could be? Do you think it could be different for different kinds of people or
Different planes.
maybe? But
Do
each
you-
is not really from well, I suppose
Well,
from a different plane to here,
Da-
maybe.
Dante's elemental and
Mm.
So Dante, do you want to try? Obviously, you are gonna, if you speak, you're gonna sort of lose air and all those sorts of things. But do you want to do anything?
Does Dante know he's not underwater, or is it just that it?
You can. It fully looks like you're in the room, but all of a sudden, you feel wet, and then it's like you almost felt the water in your mouth as you were like, "Oh," and then it felt like it rose up above you. But there's no visible water, and it's like all
I
clear.
roll some sort of Arcana-esque thing. You and using Imogene's bottle, so I'm going to use a hope for that.
Mm-hmm.
To ascertain what, like, to be like, is this like a spell, like I forgot what it's called. The investigation, you investigate it, it can do damage to you. It's one of my favorite spells.
Oh, like the Phantasmal Force.
That's it. Oh, Phantasmal. Yeah, is it
Yeah.
Phantasmal Force?
Where it's like an
Yeah.
illusion, but yeah.
But it can do, and so like,
And your brain rationalizes it if you can't see through
yeah.
it.
So can I do like and just
Yeah. So give me a knowledge, and you can spend your hope. And while you're rolling, I am going to come to the others outside because obviously you can. It does look like Dante now has his mouth clamped shut, and even his stuff is kind of floating. And as you're looking,
what's happening to his fiery hair and everything?
all the flame elements are dulled to like sparkling embers.
Okay.
7 with hope. So now, but at least I get my hope.
But you get a hope back.
Are
I'd say
the glyphs still glowing, or is it like gone?
give me a knowledge.
Dante will just go water covered.
That was a 12 with hope.
Okay, mark yourself a hope. And I'd say, Eleni, you can see that the first one that went off has faded. The second one has held.
Was Dante in melee range of me?
Yeah.
Can I try and knock him out with my domain forceful push?
You can try.
I mean, I
So
don't know how that works in these kind of things.
So forceful push is make an attack with your primary weapon. When you deal damage, knock them back to close range. So I'm kind of knocking him out of the trap. Was my thought.
Yeah, I will allow you to spend. Is it a hope to or stress? Sorry to.
No, it says make an attack with your primary weapon.
Okay,
I can spend a hope if I can spend a hope if I want to make them vulnerable, but I don't want to make him vulnerable.
Yeah. So you're gonna just attack him.
Yeah. What is it again for the attack?
It's your D12, your 2D12s plus whatever your spell caster thing is, I assume.
Which is strength, so +2.
And you're trying to beat Dante's evasion.
Well.
So +2 is 14, 16.
Cool.
Okay, so Dante, all of a sudden, and for the guys outside, Volu's like did the air blast. It got about 2 foot away from his hand before it definitely punched a hole in some sort of wall of water. Like you saw the like ripple splash, but then there's no. It's almost like it's being contained in that space. Dante's like punch out the other side. You do fall completely forwards and out of the circle. Though Dante, I'm gonna say it sparks another instinct. This is a reaction roll, so it's not a fear or hope. But
just push me into the next trap.
Potentially. Do I have to do the damage roll now as well?
So okay,
I'm gonna say you can minimum the damage if you wish.
Okay.
So on positive side, definitely would have passed it. Negative side, it's with fear. So this is 19 with fear.
Well, it's a reaction roll, so it's not.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, true.
Thank
So 19.
I rolled a 5, so that's minor damage, but
That's one hit point gone.
Or an armor point if you want to take it on the armor. I don't know how long.
I don't really know how else we can. Like,
No, it's valid.
Take it on the armor because we said armor. It like when we
armor can be repaired in a short rest. Dante, I am, however, going to spend 2 of my fears to drop him down to 6.
You're a dick.
As Dante, you fall out and do break free of the paralysis, and the water from like the floor is like you're not seeing the water, but the floor is becoming wet. Like you're becoming a different because darkened wood from the stain of you like hitting the floor, and all of your flame and ember like features are like sparking and struggling to still reignite it, and you feel like you're just shivering a little bit. Like you're not danger of being frozen. Everything will light up, but it's like in this like it's going to take you a second to warm back up. And as you're laying on your back looking from the ceiling, 2 little like flying robots disconnect from the ceiling.
Yay.
Fuck.
But that is all I'm going to say. They activate. It's not that they basically, you see, Dante, that it's almost like you're like, okay, that's the first trap. That's probably supposed to take out 99% of people. And now it's like, if you step past that trap, but they're scanning the room. Does that make sense? They're like sort of both turning in the air. They're about 10 foot up from where you are at the minute. However, spotlight back to yourselves. I am going to quickly flick to Ichi. Can you give me another presence? And I'm going to spotlight on Eleni and Volu for a second. Oh, well, I'm going to say Eleni for a second because Volu, obviously, you've just...
15 with hope.
Okay, mark himself. No hope because it's a reaction.
Okay.
But you see that Ichi sort of grips and his symbol starts to glow. He is still paralyzed, but it's stopping the like banish effect.
Okay. Do I also see these robots?
Everyone's seen the little roboty things come down.
Did you say the spotlight was on both of us?
Well, I'm going to give it to Eleni for a sec, just because Volu air punched and we've done a bit with the others. I'm just going to see if she wants it. If you don't want it, or you still just watching the scene, Eleni, feel free to. I'll pass it to Volu.
I only want to do one thing, and it literally is. It doesn't require.
Go for it if you've got something.
Yeah, so I've got 6 hope currently, so I'm going to spend 3 hope to give Dante a hit point back.
Thank you. Be fair, I could do with
that. What does it look like because again, it's slightly different in this corrupted world with your healings.
Yeah, so rather than having to touch him, I almost go like instinctively go to walk over to him to cast like I would normally, but I just have a feeling that I don't even need to go that far, and I just feel the presence of him almost coming towards me. And as long as the person's within a close range, it's essentially like I'm there with them, and it's almost like an ethereal spirit jumps out of me and kind of catches him.
Yeah, I'm going to almost say it is that sort of energy as you sort of extend your energies forwards, and the second it touches the edges of Dante's energy, you feel this warmth, healing presence come through you and heal you a hit point.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That was all I was going to do. It's back to you.
So I want to take my quarterstaff. So I'm not using the bow, I'm getting a quarterstaff. And I am going to sneak into the room, not massively far, but just over the threshold, and I'm watching the 2 robot things. I get advantage on rolls to avoid being heard, Liam, because I've got Lightfoot as part of my Wildborn community feature. But yeah, I'm sort of stepping very carefully into the room with my quarterstaff out.
Are you trying to avoid the glyph?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll need an agility from you
Okay.
as you're trying to sort of step in carefully and not step within the bounds of the glyph.
Agility. That's terrible. That is a 12 with fear.
Oh, 7 fear for me. And a 12 just. There's almost a moment where you have to like lean on Ichi, who's still like paralyzed, as you're like about to step into the glyph and have to like hold against him and then push off to the other side. I'd say, Eleni, as you're moving, the two floaty things are more fixed on you than it's almost like if you think they've looked to the door, so they've not necessarily seen Dante that's still sprawled out on the ground. They've seen Ichi and then they've seen you sort of move. They are definitely like shifting with you.
So I am going to try and move to the side of the room away from volume, almost trying to sort of keep their eyes on me, right? Sort of, but I'm still moving very, very slowly. I'm trying to sort of draw their attention. And I don't know if there's such a thing as a held action, but I want to sort of. I'm trying to think. What have I got? There's something where I can do damage to multiple people. I'm just checking what that is. Hang on a sec. Okay, yeah, it's actually my hope feature. So I almost want to stand and be like ready with the quarterstaff, but I'm waiting for them to come to me.
Okay, yeah, so almost a dodge.
Like a sort of, if they come within melee range, I am going to attack them.
Okay,
because
so
it is melee.
What? These little bots, though I like, unfortunately, magic and things aren't exactly known for being really obvious. Do they look like they'd be aggressive, or are they? For example, do they look like, say, Sir Killalot, or do they look like my robotic Hoover?
They look like they have the capability to be aggressive, but that isn't their primary purpose. As definitely they are like pointing not swords, but like needle-like structures out of the front of them, right? And again, to describe them a bit more closely as you're looking, they look like little, and at first again, almost like little steel pieces, but as everything and as they shift in the light and it's the same sort of hue and color as the rest of the furniture, again, you're thinking like ironwood structure. That then is definitely Dante. As you see one of them sort of like swoop, it doesn't move in a way where hinges should let it do that. So there's got to be some magic. Do you know what I mean? Like it sort of, the way its body opened and moved wasn't a way that the body that's happening because of the movement as opposed to it being able to do that.
Can I have a look? Just take a glance around the room. Is there sigils anywhere? Is there like a lever or a button somewhere that just is like a like burglar alarm? It starts to beep, then you press the button and it turns it off.
Not that you can see.
I mean, I think I was hoping if I can get them to follow me, it gives you a chance to stand up, to like do whatever you need to do, and
I'll stand up.
yeah.
But part of me's like thinking this is meant to be a safe place. Do we really want to start smashing shit? And that's what done.
And that's why I haven't attacked them yet. That's why I'm like, let's see what they do. Yeah.
Kind of personally, I actually feel like Voli should be the one that's involved in this.
Well, I was ready to like attack them, but we want to see what they do.
Voli, show them your amulets. Like,
oh, the ironwood.
Show it up in the air or something. They're
I'll
looking.
I'll try and do that wavy thing to make the things appear again.
Okay, so you shake it and the things do appear. The things inside don't seem to react. Give me anybody looking. Give me a knowledge, and I'll say that actually, sort of now, one of them zooms down and gets a bit closer to Ichi, and one of them gets a bit closer to the now standing Dante.
21 with hope.
9 with fear.
Oh, and I'm going to do one for Ichi as well because lol.
Knowledge. Okay. 18 with hope.
Critical with for Ichi.
Okay.
Ooh.
Is that like? Does it matter what it is because it's a 3?
No, it's a critical.
So he gets a hope and a stress.
And a stress off.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good because he does have that. So.
So what I'd say, so it's almost a collective group thought of it, in that even with Eleni, they didn't react to Eleni until you cross the threshold. They, again, if this is magic, and it's hard to tell what level of magic until you have them down and looking at them, but having something that can just see is harder than something that can just detect things within a perimeter. So actually, for Volu, you sort of come to it, but Ichi definitely, and the rest of you, it can't see Volu because it's still past the threshold. And also, I think, Dante, that would come to your mind as if it goes bad and we start getting attacked, just being stood outside, you don't think they'll follow you.
I thought Volu had come in but gone in and to the side.
No, I thought you were staying at the doorway.
No,
I went in and like on the wall.
Mm.
Oh, my apologies. That's so I'd say so. Volu.
Essentially, I was in the doorway, but I was just on the wall of the
just
doorway.
in, weren't you? Almost.
Yeah,
like
it's like,
Yeah, so I'd say Volu, if you just inside, I'd say as you're shaking it, both of them would switch attention. He's shaking the amulet. Both of them would sort of switch attention and move over to Volu. But interestingly, for those looking, they move like still facing weapons towards Ichi and Dante. And then there's a moment before Volu, the amulet, first off, it burns for a second. It gets really hot in your hands for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it's cooling, you hear in your head, lineage detected, recalibrating. And the two things shift back up into the ceiling.
Lineage. Ooh.
The glyph goes off and Ichi is almost like released to the floor.
Now, Dante, now.
What happened?
I shake the thing and it felt like it was gonna like start and ignite in my hands, and then I'll reiterate that it said lineage detected, and then everything seemed to disappear. So I don't know if it was me that caused it or if it was this that caused it.
Lineage is like family, isn't it?
Doesn't necessarily, it could be that, but it could also mean like
be a family heirloom, maybe. I don't know.
As in, or an appointment, like leader, the lineage of
the
tribal leader. Could be either.
Mm-hmm.
Could be more.
Yeah.
Ichi goes, I agree with Dante. You're so smart and beautiful. Not now, Ichi.
You are going to have to clip this and show it to Matt.
Ichi seems to be very different in this plane.
He really does.
Yeah. He's far more acceptable.
Yeah, Matt's going to see this and be like, I'm never missing another session.
We say that every time.
I know.
Pretty sure every time he misses one, Ichi says something horrific.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so everything sort of falls quiet.
Okay, so the room.
Sit down.
So in the room, there's just a table and chairs.
This room has what looks like and actually, as you're now sort of moving into the room and a bit like looking, all of the furniture in here is halfling sized.
Wonderful.
And there is so there's like 2 armchairs and a coffee table, and you're getting the impression that it was really only ever intended to be used by one person. Or at least that was the initial, like, the space could be used differently, like the area, there's a fireplace, it's nice and warm and carpeted floors. You could put other stuff in here, but it's almost like lots of the space dedicated to knickknacks and bits and bobs. And actually, as you're looking, nothing immediately jumps out as like magical, but it's like all of the stuff you would need if you were going out somewhere. So there's like rope and a grappling hook. There's different bits of pittons and stuff to set up, tie stuff up, or like all the sort of.
Are there any thieves' tools?
If you want to start having a look around the room,
is there anyone who knows how to use thieves' tools?
We can learn.
Yeah, you could definitely start having a look around.
How does learning work in this world?
How does what work? Sorry.
Learning.
How does learning Daggerheart?
Because if they just go, you spend like some hope for it, I spend all my hope to learn how to pick a lock.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think they have learning like that. I'm pretty sure it is only through level advancement.
What was that? Knowledge? Did you say?
Instinct.
Instinct.
Have a look around.
That's the same as my knowledge. So that's 8 with hope.
Okay, take a hope. However, Volu, as you sort of like picking through, there could be, or at least actually, Volu, you think there's like all the bits you would need. You actually think they're more, if we were talking about D&D crafting skills, this more looks like a tinkerer's. There's like bits of wood and bits of screws and bolts, and there's some hinges and some springs, and there's a few rods over there that probably could work, but you'd probably have to use those rods and take a bit of that metal, and it's like the stuff is here for it, but you almost get the impression that somebody wanted to be able to be like, okay, actually I need to sew, like I need a needle and some thread, and okay, now I need something else, and they sort of do, whatever else they needed.
Yeah. Okay. Is there like a second floor and like?
So you can see
stairs
leading up, spiral staircase leading up in the back left corner, and a slightly ajar door to the right that heads into what looks to be another room on this floor.
Dante, Ichi, what do you think we should explore next? Like a room on this level, make sure this level's clear, or shall we head up?
Probably level by level.
Yeah. Do you want me to go through this one so you don't get covered in water and almost die?
It's a good idea, but let's close this door first and maybe lock it, if you can. As in the front door. Let's not leave the place which is meant to be protected open.
Fair comment. That's very well, I would say that's more of an Ichi thought than a Dante thought. But
Dante is incredible. It is actually quite intelligent. He just is ignorant as well. You have to remember.
Is Eleni in?
Yeah, everybody's inside now.
Okay, so I will go to close the door and like test that. Does it magically lock itself, or?
So as you close it and you're sort of looking, there isn't any sort of lock, but as you're thinking like about it locking, you hear it like.
Okay, so we're in here now. But at least we're it's no one should be following us. We hope. Oh, okay. I said I would go in first, so be brave, Volu. I'm gonna pluck up my might and pull up my pants and do up my cloak and be like, "Be brave now." And
He
then
comes and puts his hand on his shoulder and just be like, "I'm with you."
Thank you. As I look up to the big mushroomed man not for really realizing that he has properly like mutated into this fungal tree.
We've said it already, but he's just a fun guy.
And yeah, me waffling like this is essentially what Volu would be doing, because he doesn't really want to go first, but he's just trying to vamp for time and hope that somebody would take his place. But upon realizing that Dante isn't taking the bait, he'll go and
He tried to drown in nothing.
eke the door slightly open and look
Yeah,
inside.
Maybe for Dante heading over to the warm fireplace that has now lit of its own accord, and is casting off a warmth into this room. As you push open the doorway, it reveals a very basic kitchen. You can see that there is 2 jars on the side that grab Volu's attention. And it's, again, one of those like weirdly distant back of your mind memories, but you've got a memory of like trying to get treats out of a jar like that, like made from the same clay and the same color style. And on the side, it's again fairly basic, and there's some herbs and things that are sort of spices that are sort of on a rack on the side. You can see, Volu, that there is no sort of like, doesn't look to be any cooking sort of space, but there is a magic like circle on the top that, as you're sort of looking, you would fairly easily. So it's firstly there's like a ring that sort of gives heat resistance, and then there is a ring that you can activate for fire.
It's almost like a magic hob,
essentially. But that's sort of like in its own little section. As you would you want to investigate further? Like that's just what you see as you open up. It's literally, if you imagine the very classic like student kitchen, you could step in it and put your arms on either side. It's not big.
Not big for everyone, or not big even for me.
I mean, so it's halfling proportioned still, but it's still a small kitchen in terms of like, you're not like your family's home kitchen, even as a halfling, would be bigger than this. This is like the essentials. The jars that you can see are maybe like 2-liter bottle size. That's like decent sized. And as you sort of step in and take a little look, there is some soft arcane runes on the side.
Can I investigate the area and like check if the herbs, see if I can find any like potions or anything that are just like stored?
Yeah, Ichi can as well if he wants. So he can give me an instinct to have a look around.
Okay, that is with hope. That is a 9, and I'm going to use one of
3 with fear. Honestly, my dice rolls today have been absolutely awful. I've had a couple of nice ones, but fucking hell.
What was Vola's, sorry?
So mine was 9 with hope, but I'm going to use one of my prayer dice that was a 4 and bump it to 13 with hope.
Okay. So, first of all, Boulder, as you sort of taking a look around and start digging through some things, and Ichi help him. So Ichi opens one of the jars, and Volu, it makes like as if it was sealed, like a cork. It like as he opens it, and he pulls out like a little like a little bread roll, and sort of as he sort of picks it up and he squeezes it, it's still got some press to it. You know, it's not, and he sort of throws one to you, and as you sort of catch it, it's by no means like it didn't come out of the oven yesterday, but it was maybe only baked this week by how it is. Definitely not by like all the dust in the place and everything that you're seeing, but like by how this piece of bread actually feels. It could have been baked a week ago. And again, bread that's made to be, it is a bread that's made to last. It's not like a, you know, it's not like a.
Yeah, it doesn't go stale straight away. It's like
yeah. And then he opens up the other one, and there's rations of like dried meat. So it's almost like beef jerky.
Ooh.
And again, I mean, beef jerky goes for ages anyway, but even if you get like real old, like the way that this place looks like it should be, this doesn't taste like the sort of like it should have been that long. With your own sort of poking around, there are some items in the cupboards and things that are like not perishable, as in like all long lasting, very, very long lasting sort of things that you wouldn't expect to perish. You know, rations. There's some packs of things like that.
Cans. Tuna.
Why tuna? Yeah, I know. Why tuna though?
It's always in the cupboard.
Yeah, no.
There's a packet of like can of tuna.
And you do find, not actually like in the cupboards as if it was with the food. In one of the cupboards, you find like what looks to Volu, it's just a sack, but Ichi would actually sort of say looks like a ready to go bag, because it's in just like a random bottom drawer, and it's just a plain black bag, like leather, like rucksack sort of thing. And as you open it, it's got 3 potions.
Okay.
It's got a dagger. It's got a physical map of Astera.
Astera.
And then like a few days rations sort of thing. And it does look like it's just you could just grab this bag and leave.
Okay.
The potions, as you're looking at them, they don't look like anything you've seen before. And you can make me a knowledge.
Can Ichi aid in some way?
You can aid. So you can either do you can either spend 3 hope where you both roll and you take the better, or you can just give aid where you just give a d6.
The 3 hope thing is the teamwork.
It's tag team, basically working together. You can still do that on any roll.
I'm still just going to give. I'm going to give. Spend 1 hope. Give him
a d6.
Yeah, give you additional d6 onto your roll.
Okay, so that is knowledge is +1, so that is 14, 15 with fear.
Okay, so I'm up to 10 fear. So,
this place is so lovely. Let's just move in and end the campaign here. So it doesn't matter, say, like if he has how much hope fear he has.
I mean, to be fair, if you can deal with the corruption and get home, then fear isn't a thing back. Although I feel like I'm going to have to do something with it. I have said, and for our audience, the pondering on what happens to you and the world after your return, how it has changed and such, is always a fun one to ponder on. But what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say that you identify that the potions are not harmful.
Okay.
And that you don't think that they're health potions. And actually, Volu, what you get from the 15, but where I'm going to not going to have you get the full effect in terms of from the fear. One seems to be almost the way it's sort of swirling and moving gives you almost like it looks almost like one of the Fey potions. There's one that is like glittering and occasionally giving off bits of like it's almost just completely see-through, but occasionally just blinks glittered light at you. They're almost each you would be able to sort of detect celestial magic within it. And the final one seems to be a like deep red color, which actually I'd say is the only one that you think looks similar to a potion back in Astera, which is just a fire resistance potion.
So to do with all again using all
a trinity of those three again.
Each you would though, and both of you would think as well in terms of if you were trying to battle in this plane, that is a lot of what's being spat at you as well. In terms of this person might have had no information about the factions and the planar shit that's going on, but if you were exploring this plane, it has thrown fire traps at you. It has just summoned angels. You know what I mean? Like that is the.
So I'm wondering if this is Ichi. He wants to have a look at that map. And
yes, sure.
He wants
hand over the map. So
does the map look up to date?
So.
Oh, by the way, Emma, Aileni died. She gave all her stuff and then she jumped into this pit.
You're supposed to keep me safe, Dante. What happened?
I tried.
Dante's shivering by the fire right now. No, Volu and each have just moved through to the kitchen and they're sort of exploring and looking in there. Feel free to join them. Just sort of,
There was stairs, wasn't there?
We haven't gone
upstairs. They haven't gone up there yet.
There was one other room and stairs, and we're going to check the other room before going upstairs.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, I think to be fair, you would all see that they've sort of found 3 potions. They haven't been able to identify what all of them do. They're saying one of them looks like maybe infused with Fey essence, one looks like it's maybe celestial essence, and the one that Volu is pretty certain he thinks he knows what it does, is it looks very much like a fire resistance potion.
Okay. These 3 things keep coming up over and over, don't they?
Yeah, we've said that.
And this was in like a get out bag style thing. So there was like a bag in the bottom drawer with like a map, a dagger, some potions, some rations, and it was like just to grab and go sort of thing.
And you were just saying about the map then.
Yes, so Ichi and anybody actually, because again, I imagine the kitchen is, and what I was saying for this kitchen moment is literally even everything is half sized, but even by half standards, it's small, right? There is, you could touch.
So Aileni's not fitting in there then.
No, and I imagine that Ichi even one of the bits maybe why he was struggling to look properly is he can't really get all that far in. And again, the roof isn't like oppressively small, but like all the counters are half sized. They probably pull out the stuff and sort of show you. So they've sort of found these 2 like 2-liter bottle sized mason jars that have arcane sigils on the side. And each again would show the group, and there's bread rolls in one and beef jerky in the other. But the bread rolls only seem like they're maybe a week old, as opposed to what the dust looks like in here. And when they uncorked it, it like shoop, like it makes a full it sounds like you corked it as opposed to. And then they would show the get out bag and the potions. And as they pull out the map and you all have a look, so it looks old just in terms of the paper, like the actual paper of the map looks like it's an old map. So it's hard to tell in terms of, at first for Dante and Ichi and, no, sorry, for Ichi and Volu, it's basically impossible. It looks like Astera. The only things you guys would pick up is there's more notes on the Well side.
Remind me which side that is.
That is the other continent with.
Yeah, the left-hand side, the east.
Oster,
That's
No,
where
the
o-
west,
the west. That's where the Andon and the Yixen
where
are,
I'm
and
from.
Where- where
and
Andover is.
as well.
yeah, it is where Dante is from. Just much like
Okay.
he's from North Applegate.
Mhm.
Just from
So,
100 years previous.
so actually, and again, so Volu, I think you would immediately be like, there's so many notes around the Over Forest. There's notes all the way up. And as you're looking, you don't really have a frame of reference to tell how old this is. And Dante, you're almost struggling with like, you missed 100 years at a point, and actually you don't know what cities should be there anymore. Like Applegate is still marked on the map, but you don't know if, like in the same way as if you went to Cadfessi and it's not there on this map, you could fully see it. There aren't any markers over on Vercel. It doesn't seem like whoever had this map had been to Vercel fully, or at least marked it on this map. However, Eleni, there's no Yixan Empire.
Oh.
So, talking at least a good few hundred years.
What does the forest look like? Because where our forest was, hadn't they destroyed a lot of that?
The forest is fully up to the green line that is there. I showed you to represent what was the previous edge.
Oh.
And
the
there are lots.
the Yixan Empire wasn't around when Volu disappeared, even though he
Yixan,
wouldn't know that anyway because
you
he's like
wouldn't
4 or 5.
necessarily
But
know that, but the Yixan Empire are maybe 200-300 years old at most at this point, and have basically grew very, very rapidly over like either through trade. They basically discovered cannons and black powder and how to smith workable, aimable guns and things like that.
They chopped all the
So
trees down.
so this is it. So actually, and one of the things, obviously, more known to Eleni than the rest of you is the ironwood trees are actually what is used in the wheels and the like, the bits that what do they call them? Like the holdings. It's not a holding. The thing that you would put down before you fire it, so the cannon doesn't
to
fuck off
tamp
that
it.
way. Yeah. So to basically all the bits that hold the cannon in place are made of ironwood, because it's one of the few things that can withstand them going off like that.
So, quick question. There is a layer of dust, but does it look like centuries old, or does it look like a couple of weeks?
Give me a survival.
Or what's
Oh
survival?
yeah, instinct. Thank you.
It's all right. Okay, so that is an 18, but it's with fear.
Oh, that puts me up to 11 fair, by the way, now, guys. I know.
11?
Yeah, they rolled bad for a while
What
you
the
were away.
hell?
right, I rolled well. Don't blame me. Blame
Guys.
Ichi and Dante.
It's
11.
always Ichi.
So, Eleni,
Jeez.
with the 18, however, it's obviously at a certain point it almost becomes negligible and impossible to tell. But we are talking, this is the sort of dust and like the fabric's degraded, and this is the sort of thing you would expect if you were going down into a dungeon that's been sealed or into some tombs.
So it's definitely a long time, because I think my worry was, does this mean that time is different here, or that we've come back in time, or that,
No, it definitely seems like, and literally, like when the fire lit up, everything that's activated through magic since you've entered has like spurted dust into the air and cleared out, like has not been lit in a very, very long time, sort of vibes. And again, you don't think that the wood is there because it needs wood. It's doing that's aesthetic, right? It's burning magically. But yeah, you don't think anyone's been in here in a very, very long time.
Okay.
And if the map is accurate, then we are talking potentially in the 400 to 1,000 years ish range.
I'm going to suggest we look in the other room. I feel like I want to not clear the house, but I want to check that there's nothing else nasty in here before we relax.
Okay.
Dante will just keep watch at the front, like say by the fire, looking out the front door, just making sure nothing comes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is the door still
we've
open?
checked.
No, we closed.
Closed it.
Okay.
Dante is clever like that.
Or you've just locked us in. Either way.
Well,
it is locked.
Volu would have locked you in.
No, that's fine. So you said there's another room before the stairs.
Well,
No,
was the
no,
that was the kitchen where we found the map and stuff.
So let's maybe head up the stairs then and see what's up there.
Yeah. Wally will, I say, can someone else go this time? I've done one room. It's somebody else's turn.
I'm happy to go first. I'm going to hold the quarterstaff out in front of me and just make sure there's nothing, no tripwires, nothing horrible.
Oh no, make sure so you still go and be next to her, because if anything comes up, it's you that can turn off the traps.
I mean, you're just right behind me, right, Follow?
Yeah. It's all good. I'm right behind you.
So, Eleni, give me a instinct as you're going up to look out for any other traps. I'm going to say this isn't fear or hope. This
Good.
is just
That was a 15.
Would that
Okay.
be or fear?
I'm not saying. Liam said it didn't count, so
yeah,
I'm not
The reaction roll, it's fine.
I was saying, I don't think you have to. Your face said it for me.
I know.
But so you sort of head up, sort of sweeping the steps, making sure there's no other things, and it looks clear. It definitely seems like even if there was extra traps in here, they are not operational.
Deactivated or
yeah. Before heading up like a spiral staircase, it's almost like as you get to the top, you only feel like you've taken like maybe 8-9 steps. Like it's not like you don't feel like you're walking for ages, but as you look down, you almost now look like it's like the living room is now 30-40 feet below you.
Wow. Okay.
As you come to another solid but not lockable, like it's not lockable, it's just another sort of wooden door. You're able definitely to sort of push it aside, and you can see that it's almost like a compact rounded, it's like definitely almost like what you would imagine is the battle preparation room before you go up onto the battlements of a tower. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, as you sort of see, there is a small bed that sits against one side, still made of that same ironwood material. A very dusty and worn blanket that seems to have degraded over time. You can see that there is a separate desk that seems to be like a writing desk, where you can sort of change and almost looks like you could illustrate and write, and it's like one of those easily types that you can lean up and down.
Yeah.
And it still has some sort of scatterings of papers and bits, and I'd say Eleni would spot very quickly like a very nice looking leather journal that actually to Eleni looks placed. Like it's almost like the mess of the work that's still on the board, and then on top of like everything has been placed this book, and not even like move the things you were just working on. So it almost feels a bit purposeful, that section of the room. There's another mirror by the wall, and then like not a full wardrobe, but like a place to hang clothes that still has a few. You can see a leather armor sort of still hanging in place.
Can I go and? I don't want to touch the book yet. I want to look around the book. I want to sort of see, is it placed there for a specific reason, or is it that someone was reading and they've just put it down? I'm trying to, you know what I mean? If it looks like it's been staged.
So Eleni, as you look, it's like definitely like almost like it was to be found. It's so obvious and placed, but almost like it feels ritualistic. It's actually, as you look at the edges, there's actually like ink stains and paint stains on the edges and frays where they have done this over fresh work. Like they've, whatever they were doing, they still just always put this here before they, like almost before they leave.
So it's almost just like this. This is where this book belongs. It's not that they've put it there the last time. It's they always put it here. This is where it lives.
Yes, but also very like the first thing you would see when you walked into this room. Like everything else is put away.
Okay.
There's not messes of clothes and other things sort of spilling out.
Does it look safe to pick up? Can I see if there's any kind of traps or any locks or anything on the book?
It looks fairly safe, and I'll say the only sort of thing, Lenny, is there's like like they do in leather where the imprint with metal is like pressed.
Yeah.
There's a pressed, and it's almost like an insignia, and for Eleni, it's like too big of a thing that you would just make once. It's almost like they probably pressed all their books with this thing. Yeah. And it is like a V, like a large V, and then an archway, like a doorway in the middle of the V. If you imagine you were looking through the V at an archway through it.
Okay. Okay. Do I recognise that at all?
No.
Okay. I would
I'm going to say what I'm going to ask Olu. Obviously, Eleni sort of stepped in. Are you following in? Are you?
Yeah. I'm literally like almost attached to her leg behind her.
So Olu, as you're sort of looking around, the clothes that are still hanging, like, so there's like a leather armor that just sort of looks like basic leather armor, but there are a few pieces that are like very clearly wearing around the house pieces. That are degraded and are eroded and all those other such things. But you have you like, it's not the right size, but you have a shirt that looks like that. That's like old and repaired and fixed and almost and actually you've never worn it as a shirt. It's almost like something you were given, that you were told originally, like they found you with these things in your backpack. And also almost now thinking about it, is that they were almost like things to give you to placate the constant curiosity, like, well, where is the, all those sorts of things. And again, as you sort of go over and start to touch, there's that sort of faint familiarity. And as we sort of come into this room, that is where we will pause for part 1 of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the adventure so far and want to find out what happens next, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.